whatever attitude needs some adjusting.
You call yourself a mother?
Who cares?
I do.
I don't.
Ooh, bad girls you love to hate. Today on Judge Joe Brown.
A couple of car crashes after Valentine's Day killed the love between cousins. Cashier Shakita Thomas is suing her cousin for damages to her vehicle. Defendant Letitia Cobre says the plaintiff's estimate was too high. Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
Miss Thomas, it would appear that you're suing your cousin, Miss Cobre.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let's see, you are a couple of years older than her, 3 years older than her, and it would appear that you had a 97 Honda Accord.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, is it or is it not the fact that on Valentine's Day you loaned that Honda Accord to her?
Yes. It was not Valentine's Day. It was around Valentine's Day, but no, it was not.
Well,
exactly
okay,
Valentine's Day.
or about or during the period of...
Get it right.
Of February in 2006, is it or is it not the fact, ma'am, that you allege you loaned your 1997 Honda Accord to the defendant in this cause?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And why did you do that, please, ma'am?
I loaned the vehicle to her because she needed to get to work. And at that point in time, I worked right down the street from where I lived, so I could walk to work.
So you walked to work, she drove your car to work?
Yes.
Now, was the vehicle returned to you in the same condition in which you tendered it to the defendant?
No, it was not, Your Honor.
What was the damage?
The first incident was the grill. The front grill was totally torn up in the front end. It was damaged bad.
Did you get any advisement from the defendant as to how that happened?
She told me at that time that a friend of hers backed the U-Haul into the truck. I mean, into the car. The U-Haul truck into my vehicle. And girl, that little bit of damage to that grill.
Excuse me a second.
You act like that car was brand new and it was raggedy.
Please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. Did you or did you not agree to becoming involved in a lease with the defendant?
Yes.
At that point in time, had she agreed to repair your motor vehicle?
Yes.
Now, you allege that there was a second accident in that motor vehicle. What happened on that occasion?
On that occasion, she was going to work, and she was trying to hide the vehicle from the stalking ex-girlfriend. And she pulled up my ex-girlfriend at the time. Well, current girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, Your Honor. Whatever you say,
it doesn't make any difference. Go ahead.
She hid the car, was trying to hide the car, and she hid it supposedly or allegedly in between a trash can dumpster and the back of the building where she was employed. And some kind of way, this long indention, deep dent is on the vehicle. Okay, but if you would have took it to a reasonable place instead of trying to take it to Honda and get a high-dollar estimate.
Excuse me,
honey.
Excuse me. So you acknowledge that this damage occurred while you had the vehicle in your possession?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Darn deal, that's it. Okay, next matter.
But I
now,
just asked her, get another estimate from somewhere else.
Excuse me, she doesn't have to.
Well,
now, next
that's why
point
she still ain't got her money.
You know, she's making a very good witness for you. All right, next point over here, we have a situation with her walking out on the rent. What's that about?
At that point in time, the ex-girlfriend, or the girlfriend was the ex-girlfriend, so she needed a place to stay. And so my lease was due to be signed again for the next year lease, and I decided, we came up into an agreement that she needed a place to stay, I would upgrade to another bedroom, and I would sign this lease with her.
You signed the lease?
Signed the lease.
What was her monthly rental?
$292.50.
All right. Did she pay that for the entire term of the lease?
No, Your Honor, she did not. She paid for 4 months and then skipped out on the rest of the lease. It was like 5 months.
Have you been paid anything back?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Now, during this 3-year period from Valentine's Day on or about 2006, is it also the case that you made a loan to her for $2,000?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
What was the purpose for that loan?
I loaned her the $2,000 because at that point I took on a second job and I needed my car because I was delivering pizza. So I gave her, we talked about it as adults, And I came up with the agreement. Okay, I have this extra money. I will loan you the $2,000 so that you can get you a vehicle to drive to and from work. So that way I was ensured that I knew for a fact she would get to work and have the money for the bills.
Why were you so helpful to her?
Because she was my favorite cousin. And
had you ever lived together before?
We had never lived together before,
All right.
but...
And you're 31 now, she's 28?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've got a 15-year-old son, 14-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl. You've got a 6-year-old girl and a 3-year-old girl. So all of you were living in this home?
No, my kids wasn't. My kids was in Oklahoma.
All right. Yours were there with you? All right. Well, I've gotten sworn accounting from you and documentation to support that. If you have the copies, please pass that to Madam Sonia, and as soon as my dear bailiff passes these up to the arbitrator, and yours truly, we will go to the defendant. Now, Ms. Cobrae, you have the floor. Now, already you've admitted that you had the vehicle in your possession when the front grill was damaged.
Okay, but I didn't
Apparently
back the
from
U-Haul
someone
into
backing
it.
the U-Haul into it, and
I
there's
didn't bag it
another
in there.
occasion.
I didn't bag it into that.
What's that got to do with whether you did or not? It's a bailment. You know what a bailment is?
No.
What a bailment means is simply an old law, and it's about 1,000-some years old. If you acquire the personal property of another, you have an obligation to return the personal property to the owner in the same condition you received it, absent ordinary wear and tear. The damage we have is not ordinary wear and tear.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
Oh, you want to get locked up? We do that all the
I've been there
time.
before.
Gee, wait a minute. That's why you lost your job at the Waffle House. So had you been eating too much of the product, or were you sitting there giving them attitude since you want to cop it?
Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case put up with her cousin damaging her car twice, but still moved in with her. She says the defendant used to be her favorite cousin, and she got nothing for it but heartache. Let's take a look.
The next point is your girlfriend's after you. You had the plaintiff's
not
vehicle
after
in,
me.
well, whatever. You have the plaintiff's vehicle at that point in time. It received further damage beyond ordinary wear and tear. So that means you need to go find somebody to sue if you want to recover. Next point, we have into you signed the lease, unless you contest this as you on the lease. And relative to that, you're obligated for a 12-month period, and the lease is in one lump sum broken down into 12 installments. You say you lost your job because your girlfriend was messing with you and caused you to lose your job. That's not the plaintiff's problem. You owe her for the rent. Anything to say?
What else?
You know what's amazing about you? You come in
All of
here
it is
with an attitude, got your arms crossed
Okay, so,
defensively.
'cause I'm
You're
grown and I can
mad
do
and
that.
angry because your
I can do that. I'm
your
grown as
cousin
hell,
brought you in all. But
and
you're
I can do
wrong.
that.
No, you're dead wrong,
But when I was
badly
living there,
wrong,
she didn't say nothing about
violently
her
wrong,
son going
way
in my room,
wrong. You
stealing
don't
my-
have a leg to
All of
stand
that.
on, and you
Oh,
come in here with
whatever,
attitude.
So what? So,
So
and
you know what they call that?
I don't give a damn what they call it.
That's a $50 assessment, $100 administrative
I don't
assessment.
care.
Oh, you want to get locked up? We do that all the time.
I've been there before.
Gee, wait a minute. That's why you lost your job at the Waffle House. So had you been eating too much of the product, or were you sitting there giving them attitude since you want to cop it? And nobody wanted you waiting on their table.
No, honey, I made
That's what
plenty
you
money.
do?
I
Well,
made
I tell
plenty
you
money.
what, we've got L.A. County down here, and they
Okay.
got some women in there just got back trying to resolve the last
good, 'cause
felony
I love
before they let them
women.
go
Good,
after 2
good.
days.
Send me there.
They might have a
That'll
good
be
time with
heaven
you.
to me, because I love women, honey.
Why don't you love
'em.
yourself?
Love them, honey. I do.
Why don't you start
I do.
loving yourself?
I do. I do.
Yeah,
I
try loving yourself.
Love myself,
Come up
honey.
in here with all kinds
Sure
of
do.
attitude. You embarrass your family.
Oh,
You embarrass yourself. You talk about she badmouth
No, but
you.
I
She
never
doesn't have to
said that I wasn't
badmouth
gonna
you.
give her
You
money.
illustrate her point.
I never said I wasn't
Truth
going to
is
give her
an
her money.
absolute
I told her
defense.
to give me time to give her
You
her
don't
money.
need any time.
Go
You should have gotten your
somewhere
head
else other
together.
Than Honda
Get your
with this
life
$5.
together.
Oh, well, I don't
And on top of it, you got 2 children. What are we
So?
getting right now? You don't even like men, so how'd you get them? 2 broke busted to get artificial insemination, so what's the problem? You switch up to check and see if the plumbing still works?
Yeah, that's exactly
So what
what
kind
I
of
do.
parent are you? That's what we get
exactly
for
what
an
I do,
attitude
honey.
from a parent.
You
No
don't know
damn
what
wonder
kind
we
of
got such
parent I
hell
am,
going
honey,
on in the
'cause you
country.
don't even know
And
me.
yeah, I know you.
No,
I'm looking
you
at you.
don't. You looking
mean,
at me, but you don't
You mean you act
know
like
me.
this in front of strangers?
I don't give a
Oh,
about y'all.
listen to you. Is this the way you act in
Y'all-
public?
y'all don't do for
I
me
bet you
nothing.
one of them that get
Not
your
a
children
damn
up there and
thing.
start calling them the N-word and all you little
Honey, so
B's
y'all
and
can kiss
little
my
this
up in here
MFs up
today.
in front of everybody at the grocery store.
I sure
Yeah,
do.
we're looking
And
at
I'll
an
shoot it off for you to
incompetent.
kiss
Look
too.
at you. It's another 100. And you call yourself a mother? No damn wonder we got such hell when we got mothers like you.
Okay, well, who cares?
I do.
I don't.
Oh, well, I
As
figured you
you
wouldn't.
see.
That's it. Motherhood without giving a damn about it. What are you, breeding animal? Just
Yeah.
happens to get bred out in the
That's
barnyard?
exactly what I am.
You're a human,
domestic
act like
animal.
one instead of a
I'm a
reject.
domestic animal, baby.
I agree with you. So you went over
Taurus,
here,
a bull.
5,000 in your cost.
Who
That'll
cares?
be your award.
Who gives?
And your call.
Thank you, y'all. I love you, Judge Brown.
Bye. Have a good one.
The defendant was still mouthing off on her way out of the courtroom, disrespecting her cousin, herself, and the judge. He throws the book at her.